Hello, I am Endlessness and welcome back to Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis, and in this video I wanted to review this new Barret and Nanaki banner, and it's one of those a little bit more weird banners where we get two weapons for two characters but only one costume. However, in this case I think I understand why. However, I have to say this, I can't believe that Barret got a proper banner. Yes, at some point he got that micro laser, but I can't consider it a proper banner because it didn't came with a costume, and until now Barret only had that one launch banner with a costume, so 7 months later we finally got it. So let's go over Barret first, since he's the main focus of this banner, and I have to say he looks sick. I like this costume. You could say he looks a little bit like Cyberpunk or something, but me personally he reminds me a lot of those Deep Ground soldiers in FF7, because they also always had those glowing stripes on their uniform, and also that Shinra logo and everything. It really reminds me just of Deep Ground. But let's go over the costume, and I think it might be the best costume in the game so far. Yes, it gives you 10 points into HP, so that's already nice. But this new R ability that we have gotten, it boosts physical and magical defense plus 20%, and it also boosts physical and magic attack plus 10%. This is huge because normally we have only gotten something like physical or magical attack or physical magical ability potency, something, but we have gotten defense and attack to both physical and magical, which is not something we usually pay attention to when we build a character. But all those limit breaks and summons, they always count physical and magical attack. So this is really good because you're not sacrificing either physical or magical attack, and also you get 20% defense. It's huge. Like, honestly, this is, in my opinion, the best and most versatile costume in the game, because you could get this costume for Barret and technically you don't need any other costume for him. That's all he needs. He would be a great tank, because most of the time I think everyone would use him as a debuffer, maybe even a healer hybrid, because he has some weapons like that, but he is a great debuffer unit, and this thing, it helps him so much. Also HP for survival. That's why I think that's the best and most versatile costume in the game, because you can equip this costume with a magic build or physical build and it will be perfect. So technically you don't need any other costume for him. I'm just baffled because that's a really good costume in my opinion. However, let's go over his banner weapon, Electro Cannon, and I'm also surprised because from his animation I initially thought it will be Lightning Arcanum, which I think would have been perfect, but I like this weapon more because it's basically Sephiroth's Kuja sword, but it's not exclusive, so it's available to anyone and everyone if they want to build this and OB10 it at some point. That's amazing. But yeah, it has the magic attack and boost magic ability potency as his R abilities, and it's a lot of points because magic attack, it has 46 points, but on level 120. On level 90 it would have 40 magic attack, and also it should have something like 46 boost magic ability potency, so that's already a lot. That's great in my opinion. Also some support material. Attack boost, it's fine. Magic attack boost, that's very nice. And also the circle sigil boost. Great support material slots. And as for the stats, 664 magic attack, great. This will be, even if you don't want to use Barret, this will be a really good sub-weapon for any magic DPS character, I think. I can't say anything, but I noticed that they have been putting so much attention to magic weapon suddenly, because for almost 7 months we only had those physical weapons. Sometimes there was a magic weapon random one, but suddenly we have so much focus on magic. But the C ability is the most important one in my opinion, because it deals lightning damage to all enemies, but it also decreases physical attack mid potency on all enemies. And if Barret is above 50% HP, it also decreases magic attack again at mid potency, and it does the same thing, so mid potency on physical and magical attack mid, even if it's 5-star. I can't say anything bad, because what it is, it's basically Sephiroth's Kuja weapon, but it's available to everyone, and how could I complain about this? That's the third weapon that we have in this game, because yes, Kuja is exclusive FF9 weapon, so it's hard to get. You can't wishlist it. If you missed it, then sorry, you have to wait and hope for the FF9 crossover rerun. But this one is available, and it's basically... Oh, sorry, and now we have Kate Sith with that... I don't remember the name, but he also has exact Kuja, but it depends on crit instead of that 50% HP. But Barret's is the same, but instead of magic attack guaranteed, it has physical attack, and when 50% HP, it's magic attack instead of physical. But it's great. The only thing that confuses me a little bit is that magic damage. Why is it not elemental? That's a little bit weird, but overall, that's a great weapon. You will not be dealing any DPS with it. You use this command ability to decrease physical or magic attack on the boss. So it doesn't matter that this is a lightning damage. It's irrelevant. This whole ability, that's what matters. And this is a great one. And now I think it makes Barret a much better character unit. Yes, he's mostly a support character. He doesn't really have any DPS weapons, but he has a lot of those supportive utilities. And I can only say that I'm hoping that this is not the only banner that we'll get in another 6 months, because I'm hoping that Barret has a chance to become a more popular character. He has potential, but the only thing that hurt us is that he never gets any banners, but this is actually changing. I'm hoping, at least. But let's go over Nanaki now. Oh, I noticed that's a glitch. If you click too fast, then it goes a little bit too quickly. But now we have IV color for Nanaki. And yes, we didn't get a costume for him, so that is very unfortunate, because Nanaki is like Barret. They never get any banners, they never get any love. And so initially I was very disappointed, but now I think I understand why he didn't get any costume. But let's go over this weapon first. So OB10 120, it has 62 points into attack and 39 into boost ability potency. So this is already very good, because if you would equip this as main weapon, you got that's attack level 7, it's already maxed out, and boost ability potency 39 points, so it puts you here at 30% additional. So that's great. You have a lot of weapons that you could boost further your attack or HP, or use Nanaki as support, healer, anything, because this weapon is a debuffing weapon, so it's a support weapon. You'll not be doing any DPS with it, but it's a very interesting one. So Growing Ivy, it deals 420 physical non-elemental damage to a single enemy, that's fine, but it decreases fire resistance and also ice resistance at mid already. Sorry, if it's 5-star, it's already mid. So, and most importantly, it also uses 3 ATB, so that's the same as if you would be using the elemental breach materia, so fire or ice materia. If you like to debuff both resistances, you need to have use 6 ATB. but here you only use 3 ADB and you can decrease both. Of course, if the boss can be decreased on those both elements, but 3 ADB and you can have mid or already high. That's amazing. And I also think that's the reason why Nanaki didn't get a costume now, is because if you remember back when we had the Rebirth crossover, Nanaki got that random behemoth costume from Rebirth. It had HP and fire and ice resistance increase, but also ice and fire attack increase. I think it was like 20% elemental resistance and 10 or 15% ice and fire damage increase, something like that. But this is perfect for that costume. And also we have support materia. The first one is generic attack, that's fine, but the second and third one, it's 30% to ice and fire. So I'm actually happy that we got this weapon now and not back then in the crossover, because there was this notice where it said that Nanaki's exclusive weapon is not part of this Rebirth crossover banner, and we all assumed that Nanaki will get an exclusive, so limited weapon sometime in the future. But it seems like this is that weapon that he was missing. And honestly, I really like this because it makes this weapon accessible to anyone, and it's, in my opinion, also a very good weapon. You can decrease both resistances with 3 ADB and also at high or mid potency. It's amazing. But again, Barret and Nanaki, until now they were almost no one was using them, and I hope that this is the beginning of them getting some more banners more often, so maybe they will become more popular character units, because I can understand why. Yes, this is a great banner, but I can see why people won't be willing to pull on it, because almost no one is using those characters because they never get any banners. So I hope this is not the only banner that we are getting of them in like 5 or 6 months. Yes, Nanaki got that wind costume in January, but they need more, something more and more often, because this is great. I can't say anything bad about this banner. Also, both Barret and Nanaki's weapon will be useful for this current crash that we have with the Turks, that Turk trio with Reno, Rude and Elena, because Reno is weak to ice and Elena is weak to fire. So if you use Nanaki, you already have this covered. This is great, but also you could use Nanaki as a support, or he could even be a healer and also debuff those 2 elements. So you only need either a non-elemental weapon or wind weapon for Rude, and you have this fight covered. Especially with Barret, who can decrease their attack, and he also has some. He can also heal. He can buff your team. I can see some really good combos in this banner if you would be willing to pull and use those characters. But like I said, I'm hoping that this is not the only banner, because I would love to see. I like those characters. I like Barret and Nanaki, and I would just love to see them being used more often by more and more people. But it just depends on what they will do for them from now on. But yeah, I think this is a good banner. Like I already said, I think that's obvious. That's third Kuja weapon that we have in a game, and it has a great utility. Also, Nanaki will become more versatile, but again, they need more banners, more weapons, more utilities that they can provide to our teams. But yeah, if you're going to pull, good luck, and please share your results, because I really like those characters, especially after Remake and Rebirth. They are so good. So I also in Ever Crisis, I would love to see them getting more love. But yeah, I'll be skipping this banner because I am back in saving mode, and I'll be skipping all the banners until we get something I will really like for Cloud, Sephiroth or Zack. pads. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you next one.